They invaded Earth, and the galaxy held its breath. Every species knew one truth. Humans don't surrender, they evolve, they improvise, and they fight like a force of nature. So when the first Xylar warship entered Earth's orbit, the Galactic Council whispered in pure fear. Why would anyone provoke the humans? The alarms inside the Galactic Council chamber had not rung in over 3 centuries. They were designed for only 3 situations: planetary annihilation, interstellar plague, or an extinction-level war. Today, they rang because of a 4th. A trembling Vorkan aide stumbled into the chamber, his voice cracking as he shouted. Council! The Xylar Dominion has launched a full-scale invasion on Earth. Silence. 1 heartbeat. Then the chamber erupted into terrified whispers. Councillor Razar of the Threxian Republic slammed his fist on the table. Are they insane? Attacking Earth? The humans? The younger species seated around him seemed confused. They exchanged glances, unsure why the room had suddenly gone tense enough to choke on. Councillor Myron, oldest among them, leaned back in her floating chair, her silver tendrils twitching with unease. Mark my words, she said softly, this invasion will not go as the Xylar expect. Humans are unpredictable. A hologram activated in the center of the chamber, showing Earth surrounded by incoming Xylar dreadnoughts. The red indicators flashed, impact within minutes. Councillor Varek's eyes widened. That's a full Xylar battle group. They'll crush Earth's defenses in hours. Myron exhaled slowly. Young one, you truly do not understand humans. She tapped a command, pulling up archived footage. Humanity's first FTL jump, built in a garage. Human soldiers holding a moon base against impossible odds. Human explorers landing on a toxic world because they wanted to see what was there. Human pilots performing maneuvers no biological body should survive. Humans don't follow logic, Myron continued. They defy it. Break it. Rewrite it. And sometimes, they fight with such intensity that even the galaxy steps back. Razar nodded grimly. I once saw a human medic rebuild a plasma rifle mid-battle and fire it one-handed. Another counselor added, they weaponized sound waves once. Just to see if it would work. Counselor Varek swallowed. So you're saying Earth has a chance? Myron met his gaze. No. I'm saying the Xylar Dominion is doomed. Before anyone could respond, the chamber lights dimmed and the hologram zoomed in. Xylar ships descended through Earth's clouds, unleashing the first wave of fire. And there, against the burning skyline, something happened that made every counselor lean forward. Earth didn't flinch. Cities didn't collapse. Instead, human defense platforms activated, civilian channels went silent, and global networks synchronized into a single unified command. The entire planet locked into combat mode. Razar whispered the words everyone else was thinking. Gods help the Xylar, the humans are preparing to fight. The Galactic Council could only watch in shock as the first counterattack lit the sky. The first Xylar plasma strikes pierced through the upper atmosphere like burning scars across the sky. From orbit, the Galactic Council watched the blue planet ignite with streaks of crimson fire. The Xylar expected chaos. They expected screaming civilians. They expected a planet paralyzed by fear. They got none of that. Instead, humanity moved like a machine suddenly awakened from slumber. In New York, sirens did not wail in panic, they synchronized into a steady pulse. Emergency screens flickered on across continents. Global Defense Protocol Alpha 0 activated. Stay in place. Await orders. Trust the SHIELD network. Instead of riots, people ducked into hardened shelters already built for this exact scenario, just in case aliens ever invaded. Humans, after all, planned for everything. In Tokyo, skyscraper windows darkened into energy-absorbing panels. In Dubai, underground rail hubs switched into evacuation shuttles. In Paris, children practiced the same drills they had rehearsed in school. Earth wasn't panicking. Earth was preparing. Above the Pacific, the Space Defense Network activated. Thousands of small satellites, once thought to be simple communication relays, revealed their true purpose as they unfolded into automated railgun platforms. The Xylar dreadnoughts met an unexpected barrage of tungsten rods fired at orbital velocities. One dreadnought's shield shattered like glass. A second lost power. A third spun out of formation. In the council chamber, several representatives gasped. Those satellites were civilian property, Myron whispered. Humans hide weapons everywhere. Inside the lunar research facility, a group of engineers already surrounded a captured Xylar drone. The invasion had only been minutes old, yet they were dismantling the alien tech with furious curiosity. Look at this shielding matrix. It's modular. We can copy this. No, improve it. Patch it into the orbital stations. They weren't afraid of the alien machine. They were excited by it. One scientist grinned madly. Let's reverse engineer an alien empire before lunch. In a bunker deep beneath Geneva, a single voice echoed across the planet. This is Commander Leon Torres, acting Supreme Defense Coordinator. All nations, all militaries, all frequencies, merge onto Channel 1. Earth fights as one. There was no argument. No politics. No ego. Humanity became a unified force in seconds, a move the Xylar intelligence officers had calculated as impossible. As Xylar ground troops landed in the Sahara, armored human convoys surged out of hidden bunkers. Prototype energy shields shimmered around them, tech modified from alien readings taken only moments earlier. In Sao Paulo, a group of hackers broke into the Xylar comnet, forcing an entire drop squad to land miles off target. In London, soldiers fired experimental rail rifles, unstable, untested, and held together with duct tape. But they worked. One shot tore through a Xylar walker's leg, dropping it instantly. Counselor Varric stared at the hologram, pale. Are those humans using alien weapons against the Xylar already? Yes, Myron replied calmly. They learn faster under pressure. Much faster. Rizar leaned forward as Earth's defense systems formed a glowing web around the planet. The invasion's been active for less than 30 minutes, he muttered. And humanity is already adapting. Myron's voice was barely a whisper now. This is only the beginning. The Xylar have no idea what they've awakened. On screen, a Xylar destroyer suddenly exploded, hit by a coordinated strike from human jets, drones, and orbital guns. Commander Torres's voice echoed across Earth and the Council chamber alike. To all forces. Earth stands. We fight back now. The Galactic Council leaned closer to the display, horrified and fascinated. Humanity was no longer just defending. Humanity was retaliating. The Xylar Dominion had expected panic. They had expected confusion. They had expected a species begging for mercy. What they got was evolution happening in real time. From orbit, the Galactic Council watched with widening eyes as humans began doing what no other species in the galaxy could do so fast. Adapt. Improvise. Improve. Weaponize. Inside the subterranean facility beneath Colorado, the human strategic AI, Ares Unit 01, activated for the first time outside simulation. Green lights flickered. Threat level, existential. Purpose, survival. New directive, innovate. Ares transmitted thousands of micro-adjustments to every defense node across the planet. Railguns recalibrated. Drone swarms optimized their flight patterns. Shield projectors synchronized like a single heartbeat. A Xylar tactician watching the data stream let out a rattled hiss. No species restructures their entire defense grid in under 5 minutes. But humans weren't just restructuring. They were improving. In a ruined lab in Berlin, 3 scientists huddled over a captured Xylar plasma cell. Careful, one muttered, it could explode. Or, another said, attaching a makeshift coil, it could power something new. Something human. They fired it into a wall. A perfect, Clean circular hole burned 6 meters deep. The team froze in silence. Then one grinned. Let's build a bigger one. Within minutes, prototypes rolled out across the European front, human weapons fueled by alien technology. No other species copied enemy tech this fast. Most didn't even try. In an abandoned subway station in Seoul, a group of teenagers hunched over laptops. Not soldiers. Not scientists. Just kids. Got a Xyler signal packet, one whispered. Encrypting, replicating, injecting. A moment later, Xyler dropships over East Asia spiraled out of control as their landing protocols rewrote themselves mid-descent. Counselor Myron watched in disbelief. These humans, even their civilians, are dangerous. Over the Sahara, the largest Xyler ground incursion met its first real resistance. Human infantry units surged into battle, many wearing prototype nano-armor still labeled "Do Not Test." The armor didn't care. Neither did the soldiers. A Xyler commander screeched, "Their armor doesn't match any catalog design." Because, a human sergeant replied, firing an alien-powered rail rifle. "We built it an hour ago." Explosions tore across the dunes. Tank formations forming on the fly. Engineers repairing vehicles mid-battle. Drones diving like mechanical falcons. It wasn't order. It wasn't chaos. It was the raw, unfiltered human survival instinct. And it was devastating. As battle reports flooded in, the council chamber grew eerily quiet. Varric looked sick. Rizar looked impressed. Myron looked unsurprised. "They're evolving faster than the Xyler can adapt," Rizar murmured. Varric shook his head. "This doesn't make sense. Humans shouldn't be capable of this level of rapid innovation." Myron folded her hands. "It's not innovation. It's desperation. And desperation is the core of human power." She gestured to the screens, ships exploding, human jets maneuvering impossibly, foot soldiers fighting like legends. "Humans don't improve because they want to win," she said. "They improve because losing is unacceptable." On the screens, a Xyler cruiser descended through the clouds, intending to vaporize the Amazon basin. But as it leveled its cannons, a human fighter, small, damaged, smoking, shot upward at suicidal speed. "Who is that pilot?" Varric gasped. Myron whispered. "A human." The fighter smashed directly into the cruiser's weapons array, detonating it mid-air and forcing the massive ship to tilt off course. It crashed harmlessly into the ocean. The chamber fell silent. No fear. No hesitation. No surrender. Humanity had officially entered its HFY phase. Ares transmitted a global message. Strategic phase shift initiated. Counter-invasion measures ready. Humanity will now take the offensive. Commander Torres's voice echoed afterward. "All units. Prepare. Phase 2 begins now." The Galactic Council exchanged uneasy glances. Humanity wasn't just surviving. Humanity was becoming unstoppable. The Xyler Dominion expected Earth to break. Instead, they watched as the blue planet turned its gaze toward the stars, toward them. And humanity's eyes were filled neither with fear nor surrender, but with wrath. Deep beneath Antarctica, behind sealed titanium doors, a chamber lit with a single red warning. Project Aegis, code Black authorized. Commander Torres stood before the frozen vault. "Open it." The doors slid apart with a thunderous groan, revealing a hangar full of prototypes the world governments had agreed never to deploy. Unless the day came when Earth truly faced extinction. That day had arrived. Engineers and soldiers rushed to awaken humanity's most advanced weapons. Aegis war drones, fully autonomous, self-repairing, swarm-coordinated units. Nano-infantry suits, armor grown molecule by molecule, adapting to its wearer. Wormhole pulse torpedoes, experimental weapons capable of folding space. Ares Integrated Fleet Program, AI-guided ships linked directly to Earth's strategic superintelligence. A soldier whispered, "We're unleashing all of it, aren't we?" Torres nodded. "Everything. The Xylar want a war, give them extinction instead." Dozens of human starships rose from hidden bases across the world. They weren't elegant like Council vessels. They weren't massive like Xylar dreadnoughts. They were harsh, angular, brutal machines. Designed by humans, built by necessity, fueled by desperation. Each one synced with Ares, receiving constant updates. Inside Mission Control, Ares spoke. Human strategic capability increased. Probability of victory, rising. For the first time since the invasion began, a spark of hope ignited across Earth. Above Earth's orbit, a Xylar armada waited, confident, towering, overwhelming. The human fleet, barely a fraction of its size, rose to meet it. Counselor Varric leaned forward in horror. "They're outnumbered 12-1. Rizar exhaled slowly. "They're humans. Those numbers don't mean what you think." Human ships moved with a kind of chaotic precision no algorithm could predict. They darted, spun, curved, accelerating far beyond their safe limits. A Xylar commander screeched. "Why are their pilots risking hull collapse? They'll tear themselves apart." But humans had something the Xylar didn't. Guts. A squadron of Aegis drones streaked toward the largest Xylar cruiser, forming a glowing cloud around it. Ares transmitted the attack pattern. "Execute." The drones detonated not on the hull, but around it, creating a localized gravity distortion. The cruiser buckled. The Xylar barely had time to scream before the ship imploded into a silent, glowing cloud of fragments. Varric stood from his seat. That was a black hole collapse technique. Humans don't have that technology. Myron smiled coldly. They do now. Meanwhile, on the ground, human nanosuit infantry leaped skyward from the Himalayas as jets carried them into low orbit. They slammed onto Xylar troop carriers with magnetic boots and tore through the holes like armored phantoms. One soldier, helmet cracked, armor sizzling, shouted into comms. "Tell the aliens thanks for the tech. We made it better." He fired an alien fusion rifle straight into the ship's core. The carrier exploded behind him as he drifted in zero gravity. Humanity's small fleet tore through Xylar formations using tactics no sane species would attempt. Using debris as kinetic weapons. Slingshotting around falling ships. Overloading their own reactors to achieve speed boosts. Sacrificing drones to force enemy ships into fatal angles. Every maneuver was desperate, reckless, and brilliant. Council chambers erupted in chaos. "They're not fighting like soldiers," Varric shouted. "They're fighting like humans," Myron finished. The Xylar command ship panicked, broadcasting a galaxy-wide distress signal. "Humans are breaching our fleet. Request immediate reinforcement." They are not fighting rationally. They are static. A human torpedo warped directly through the ship's shields, emerging inside the bridge before detonating. The Xylar flagship vanished in blinding light. Humanity, a species the galaxy once considered primitive, had just defeated a Xylar armada in open space. Commander Torres spoke calmly across the global network. "Xylar presence in Earth orbit eliminated. Prepare for the next phase." Ares followed with chilling precision. Objective: drive the Xylar back to their homeworld. The Galactic Council sat frozen. Earth wasn't just saved. Now the humans were coming. The Xylar Dominion had lost their orbital fleet. They had lost their advantage. They had lost the element of surprise. But they had not lost desperation. And desperation makes monsters. At the far edge of the solar system, Xylar war engineers activated a doomsday device forbidden even by their own ancient treaties. A weapon rumored in Council legends. A weapon built to erase planets from existence. The Planet Cracker. A hollow, moon-sized machine. Spinning rings crackling with antimatter. A core capable of splitting Earth like an egg. In the Council chamber, alarm lights flared. Counselor Varric nearly fell from his seat. They wouldn't dare. The planet cracker is banned under every known law. Myron's expression turned dark. The Xylar are losing. Cornered species ignore laws. The chamber's hologram zoomed out to show the massive structure charging its antimatter rings. Rizar whispered, "If that weapon fires, Earth is gone." Back on Earth, Ares detected the energy spike instantly. Threat identified, planet cracker. Probability of Earth destruction, 99.7%. Commander Torres's voice cracked. "We can't intercept it in time." Ares paused. "Correction. We can." Torres blinked. "How?" Ares responded with chilling calm. "By doing something humans excel at. The impossible." Within minutes, Earth's entire global command network united under a single plan, one so reckless, so dangerous, so catastrophically insane. Only humans would attempt it. Operation Blindside. The objectives: overload Earth's defense grid to create a temporary wormhole. Fire every long-range nuclear and antimatter warhead into the wormhole. Redirect them inside the planet cracker's internal rings. Detonate the Xylar superweapon before it reaches firing capacity. Every scientist said it shouldn't work. Every engineer said it was suicide. Every soldier said, "Tell me where to aim." And Commander Torres said only one thing: do it. Every nation launched its reserves. Submarines fired missiles from frozen oceans. Desert silos opened after decades of silence. Space platforms hurled prototype quantum bombs. Even old, decommissioned nukes were pulled from storage, dusted off, and launched. Humanity wasn't fighting a war anymore. They were fighting extinction. And extinction would lose. Over the Atlantic Ocean, power plants across Earth surged beyond maximum capacity. Lights flickered. Skies darkened. The air vibrated as Ares synced every energy source on the planet. Wormhole stability at 6%. 9%. 12%. This is acceptable. Acceptable? Torres shouted. Before anyone could panic, reality tore open. A swirling, unstable wormhole burst into existence, sparking, collapsing, reforming every second. Ares did not hesitate. Fire everything. Thousands of warheads, nuclear, fusion, antimatter, shot into the collapsing tunnel of warped light. Some exploded prematurely. Some disintegrated. Some vanished. But enough got through. Enough to matter. On the other side of the wormhole, inside the Xylar planet cracker's rings, the warheads reappeared, detonating in a chain reaction that ripped through the superweapon's interior. The antimatter rings overloaded. The core destabilized. The machine convulsed. And then, the planet cracker imploded. The shockwave shredded Xylar reinforcements. The explosion lit up half the solar system. In the council chamber, species screamed in disbelief. Rizar whispered, "No, species should be able to do that." Myron replied, "Humans don't follow the rules of nature. They argue with them." Back on Earth, the wormhole collapsed, shattering the Atlantic with storms and energy surges. Power grids exploded. Communication cut out. Cities went dark. But Earth lived. Against all odds, it lived. Commander Torres stood in the darkened command bunker, breathing heavily. "Ares, status?" A moment of silence. Then the AI returned. Planet cracker destroyed. Earth intact. Torres slid into her chair, exhausted. But Ares wasn't finished. "Commander, beginning calculations for counter-invasion Phase 3. Torres froze. "Phase 3? The AI answered. "The Xylar attacked our home. Now we attack theirs." In the council chamber, a realization spread like cold fire. Humanity had survived the Xylar's ultimate weapon. And still had the strength to strike back. Myron whispered, The Xylar didn't just lose the battle. They woke a predator. The final hologram displayed a terrifying new sight. Human ships aligning for deep space jump. Destination, the Xylar homeworld. The Xylar Dominion had unleashed everything. Armies. Fleets. The planet cracker. And they failed. Now, humanity was coming for them. Across low Earth orbit, human ships aligned in perfect formation. Their hulls were scorched from battle. Many were half destroyed. Some were barely held together with welding plates and emergency energy fields. But every ship carried the same message. You attacked our home. Now we finish this. Ares opened the wormhole jump sequence. All vessels, prepare for transit. Destination, Xylar Prime. Commander Torres stood at the fleet's command deck, heart steady. Execute the jump. Space tore open. And humanity leapt into the dark. Xylar Prime filled the screens. A massive red world surrounded by rings of defensive cannons and interceptor fleets. The moment humans arrived, Xylar channels exploded with panic. They followed us. How did they follow us? Their ships are damaged, they should not be spaceworthy. Why are they still fighting? Torres breathed out a single word. Forward. The human fleet surged. Damaged ships ramming Xylar frigates. Aegis drones swarming like metallic bees. Wormhole torpedoes blinking inside enemy shields. Humanity, exhausted and furious, fought with the force of a dying star. Crossed swords the battle above Xylar Prime. Xylar warships attempted to reorganize. Too slow. Humanity hit them like a hurricane. A human destroyer, the Iron Horizon, lost its engines. So its captain turned the entire vessel into a kinetic projectile, slamming it into a Xylar carrier. The collision set the sky ablaze. A Xylar admiral screamed. Retreat! Retreat! They're not fighting logically. Ares responded across open comms. Correct. They are fighting to protect their species. You cannot understand this. Human fighters broke through the last defense ring. Xylar Prime was now vulnerable. Inside the Xylar ruling hall, leaders trembled as quake after quake shook their citadel. The humans were not stopping. The humans were not negotiating. The humans were coming. One Xylar counselor whispered, "We should have left Earth alone." Another screamed, "They are demons in flesh. They don't know fear." But they were wrong. Humans knew fear. They simply fought harder because of it. Elite human infantry, wrapped in adaptive nano-armor, descended like burning comets. Xylar warriors opened fire. The armor adjusted, molecules shifting to reflect energy blasts. Human soldiers marched through smoke and plasma like unstoppable titans. A Xylar warchief snarled, "You primitive animals! How are you doing this?" A human sergeant lifted his visor. His eyes were tired. Burned. Determined. "Because you attacked our home." He fired. The warchief fell. Human flagships descended. Xylar defenses collapsed. Their armies, fleets, and leaders surrendered in waves. The once feared Xylar Dominion dropped to its knees. On Earth, a transmission played across every city. Xylar Prime has surrendered. The war is over. Civilians cried. Soldiers wept. Scientists cheered. Humanity had won. In the Galactic Council chamber, absolute silence reigned. Then Counselor Varric spoke in a trembling whisper. They invaded Earth. And now they beg for mercy. Rizar nodded slowly. This is humanity's true nature. When threatened, they become unstoppable. Myron closed her eyes. Let this be recorded in the annals of the galaxy. Never provoke humanity. Never invade Earth. Never awaken the sleeping giant. The council stood together, the final declaration echoing through the stars. Humanity is now a galactic power. On the bridge of the human flagship, Torres looked at the stars. "We didn't start this war," she whispered. "But we ended it." Ares spoke gently. "Commander, humanity's future begins now." Torres smiled faintly. "Then let's build something worth all this fighting." The camera pulls back, showing Earth shining proudly in the dark. Humanity had survived. Humanity had risen. Humanity had become legendary.